A time of terror. The 1999 Russian apartment bombings. 25 years ago, the late summer and early fall of 1999 cast a long, dark shadow over Russia. A series of horrific bombings ripped through apartment buildings, turning ordinary life into a nightmare. These attacks, targeting the heart of Russian society, left a trail of death and destruction. Fear and uncertainty gripped the nation as the bombs exploded without warning. The scale and brutality of the attacks shocked the world, raising questions about who was responsible and what their motives could be. The bombings, which took place in Moscow, Binsk, and Volgodonsk, would have profound political consequences and mark a turning point in Russian history. While the Russian government officially blamed Chechen terrorists for the attacks, many questions and inconsistencies remain. Some investigative journalists and political analysts have suggested the bombings could have been orchestrated or allowed to happen by elements within the Russian government itself. These theories, though controversial, point to a complex and murky reality that continues to fuel debate and speculation. The bombings exposed the fragility of the new Russian state and the challenges it faced in maintaining security and order. The events of that year continue to shape Russia's political landscape today, highlighting the lasting impact of fear, manipulation, and the pursuit of power. Cities under siege: Moscow, Buyansk, and Volgodonsk. The first attack struck Buyansk in Dagestan on August 4, 1999, killing 64 people. Just days later, on August 31st, a bomb ripped through a crowded shopping mall in Moscow, killing one person. The deadliest attack occurred on September 13, 1999, when a truck bomb destroyed an apartment building in Moscow, claiming 219 lives. The scale of the destruction and the sheer number of casualties horrified the nation. A nation in flux: Russia's political landscape in 1999. The 1999 apartment bombings took place during a period of profound political and economic uncertainty in Russia. The country was still grappling with the legacy of the Soviet collapse, which had left its economy in shambles and its political system in disarray. Boris Yeltsin, Russia's first president, was struggling to maintain control amidst the chaos. His presidency was plagued by economic hardship, corruption scandals, and the ongoing war in Chechnya. Yeltsin's failing health raised concerns about his ability to govern effectively, and he had also developed a reputation for public drunkenness. The apartment bombings further weakened his grip on power and created an opportunity for ambitious politicians to exploit the crisis for their own ends. The bombings also exposed the deep divisions within Russian society. The war in Chechnya had exacerbated ethnic and religious tensions, fueling suspicion and mistrust. This volatile climate paved the way for the rise of Vladimir Putin, a former KGB officer who promised to restore order and stability. From the shadows to the forefront. The rise of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, a relatively unknown figure at the time, emerged from the shadows to seize the opportunity presented by the bombings. A former KGB officer with a reputation for ruthlessness and efficiency, Putin had risen through the ranks of the security services during the 1990s. Yeltsin appointed Putin as his prime minister in August 1999, thrusting him into the spotlight just as the apartment bombings began. The bombings provided Putin with the perfect platform to showcase his leadership qualities and appeal to a nation hungry for security and stability. He projected an image of strength and decisiveness, vowing to hunt down the terrorists responsible and crush the Chechen insurgency. Putin's rhetoric resonated with many Russians who were weary of the chaos and instability of the Yeltsin years. Putin's response to the bombings was swift and brutal. He launched a full-scale military offensive against Chechnya, vowing to crush the separatist movement once and for all. Putin's no-holds-barred approach to the conflict earned him both praise and condemnation. Whispers of conspiracy: the FSB and the Ryazan incident. While the Russian government officially blamed Chechen separatists for the apartment bombings, allegations of FSB involvement have persisted. On September 22, 1999, sacks of hexogen, a powerful explosive, were discovered in the basement of an apartment building in Ryazan. The FSB's contradictory explanations and the suspicious timing of the incident fueled suspicions that the agency was involved in the apartment bombings. A legacy of suspicion, the bombing's impact on Russia. The 1999 Russian apartment bombings cast a long shadow over Russia, leaving an enduring legacy of suspicion, fear, and unanswered questions. The bombings marked a turning point in Russian history, ushering in the Putin era and shaping the country's political landscape for years to come. The bombings had a profound impact on Russian society, creating an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. This sense of vulnerability made the public more receptive to Putin's promises of order and stability, even if it meant sacrificing some civil liberties and democratic freedoms. The bombings also had a chilling effect on freedom of speech and the press in Russia. The legacy of the bombings continues to shape Russia's political landscape today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Intellectualist on YouTube for the latest updates and content.